Are you desiring more out of life? More love, more connection, more experience, just more aliveness? Well, that is your soul calling you. And together we are going to uncover those soul desires and help you bridge the gap between your physical life and your true soul self. Welcome to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. My name is Emilee. I'm an intuitive, a psychic medium, and someone who recently and very suddenly awakened to spirituality. On this podcast, we are going to talk all about connecting with your soul to live your fullest, most beautiful life. We're going to talk about spirituality from the perspective of the everyday person. It's my goal that you feel seen and supported on this journey of discovering your soul and awakening to the incredible world of spirit. Let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. It's me, Emilee, your host. I hope you are having an amazing day. My day has been chaos. Just getting everyone out the door in the morning with everything that they need. It's still morning here. I've got everyone out of the house. I'm here all alone. I have some espresso. I just finished some breakfast, and now I'm all ready to chat with you. This moment of peace and calm and connecting with spirit is exactly what my heart needs today. And I hope the message that comes through to you is exactly what you need to hear too. If this is your first time tuning into the podcast, just want to say welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking clicking listen. And I really hope that this message resonates with you. I hope that my voice resonates with you. And I hope that you can hear the compassion that I have in sharing everything that I'm learning about spirit. If you're a little bit curious about who the heck I am, I shared some of my own spiritual journey in the very first episode of this podcast. And so if you are curious about how I got here, who the heck this girl is, click on the very first episode. And that's where I share all about my own spiritual awakening journey, which has been fast and weird and unexpected. And that's where you'll find all those details. For everyone who's returning, thank you so much for coming back to the podcast, for listening again. And I am so happy that these messages are resonating with you and that you're coming back for more, that you're ready to continue going deeper and understanding your own spiritual connection and starting to create a relationship with your soul, developing your intuition and trusting that spirit has a plan for you. Spirit has a path for you, that the things you desire in this life are meant for you. And spirit, the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is here to support and guide you through this journey of discovering your soul and of living out the physical life that you want, that you deserve, that you are ready to step into. So, today's episode is actually inspired by a card reading that I did for a friend. I attend a lot of practice circles where I practice my own intuitive and psychic skills, my own mediumship skills, just to continue developing my own connection. And so, in one of these practice sessions where we're working on expanding our skills, I did a reading for someone else with some cards. And man, the message, it's another one of these messages that, yes, it was meant for her, but geez Louise, it was meant for me too. And I can't get it out of my head. And today, I actually had a different topic planned to talk to you about. But before I started recording, I decided to pull some cards just to help lead me through the topic. And guess what? I pulled the same cards that I pulled for her. And I said, okay, Spirit, got it. This is what we're talking about today. And the message, the core of this message is all about moving forward and starting a new chapter. It's about leaving behind something in the past and moving forward into what's ahead of you. And it's such a beautiful message for the new year. I know we're already 2, 3 weeks into the new year, but it has been a slow start for me getting started into 2024. I think I'll still have that new year feeling in March. I'm having a real slow start over here, and maybe some of you are too. So we're keeping that new year, new cycle vibe going because I feel like we are still adjusting into what's ahead of us and still working on leaving behind some of the things that have ended as the year 2023 ended. So, the cards that are inspiring our talk today, the first one is called Going Forward. And if you want to see a picture of them, you can head over to my Instagram. I'll share a picture of these. And then the second card I pulled is the 13th card in the tarot, which is Death and Rebirth. Both of these cards are about moving forward. They're about starting something new, being at the beginning. And oh, that just totally describes my life right now. And I have a feeling it is really going to describe some of your lives too, especially if you clicked on to this episode based on the title. Then, my friend, these are some messages for you as you prepare to leave behind what's no longer serving you, what's ended, the cycle that is over, and move forward into something new. Because the truth is, when we move into something new, we've got to start at the beginning. We're like a baby, we're like brand new to it. We're at the beginning of it. And there is learning that comes along the way. There is a path that we follow, there's a journey of growing into it and moving into it. And Spirit just keeps reminding me it is okay to be at the beginning. We don't start at the end. We don't start with all of the information, but we start right at the beginning. And so if you're right at the beginning of something, this episode will have some inspiration and some guidance for you as you move through whatever it is you're transitioning into. The first thing that I want to talk about with these new beginnings is it's important to recognize that as we start something new, as we have this new beginning, it is also the ending of something else. If you're starting a new career, if you are starting a new relationship, if you are moving to a new house, if you are having a baby, if you are just working through all kinds of internal transformations, whatever this new beginning is, it's also the end of something else. And with this new beginning also being an ending, that duality can bring out some complicated feelings. We have excitement for the future, and there also may be some grief for the past, for what we have to leave behind, what we have to step out of in order to start this new journey. And I think that it's important to recognize that some of the recent episodes of the podcast, I think back in December, there's an episode all about reflecting on the past, on closing out 2023. That episode walks through a way to really honor your past and prepare yourself to move forward. And I think it is so important to do that reflection and give that love to the past when something is ending, even if it's something that was so difficult and you didn't like it and you're so happy to say goodbye, get out of my life. It's still so important to recognize the growth that happened from that situation. Give love to yourself for who you were in that situation, for the strength you displayed, for whatever you did to move forward in that situation, who you were, the person you were to make decisions and to live through your experience. And it's important to show that appreciation, that love, and that respect for yourself as you journeyed through whatever experience that you've been journeying through, that you are now closing, that you are now moving forward from. And that letting go that reflection, that process is so important to set the foundation for you to move forward into something new, because you can start with this solid foundation of love and respect for yourself, love and respect for your past, and also an acknowledgement that that's behind me and I am looking ahead. I am looking forward. And that's really what I want to talk to you about today is going forward, the path ahead of you. So let's talk about that path ahead of you. If you're just starting something new, you've got a whole big long freaking path ahead of you. Whether you're working towards those big goals, you're starting something new like we've talked about, whatever it is, that big path is all ahead of you. And there is so much energy in front of you. Spirit's really showing me that right now, our energy, our momentum, it's all in front of us, and we are being guided toward action, toward taking those steps forward. Now, when we look at our path or when we look at the journey we anticipate to take to whatever goal it is that we have set, that path can feel humongous. It can feel so long and hard and confusing, and there can be a lot of doubt, a lot of worry. Am I doing this right? A lot of questioning. Why am I even doing this? It can be difficult. We can get a little bit lost along the way. But what I want to point out to you is what a gift it is that the path exists. And Spirit is asking us to trust the fact that this path is there, even if we don't always understand each step that we're being asked to take. Even if we don't always understand how one moment connects to the next moment, connects to the next moment, how one action leads into the next one, how we're being called to do something that we don't even understand why we're being called to do it. Spirit's asking us to stop trying to figure it out because we probably won't, and just to trust the path. There's so much comfort in believing that there is a path that has been laid out for you. Even when we can't see it, even when we don't understand it, even when it's like feels difficult, the path is still there. And Spirit is asking us, lean into your trust, lean into that belief that by moving forward, by following your intuition and the nudges and the things you're called to and the places that you're led, by following that, you are staying on the path. Your only job is to follow that inspiration and trust. And Spirit's going to do the rest. The universe is going to do the rest. The path is laid out for you, and you can take comfort in that. Even when you're all the way at the beginning and it might feel like there's a million miles in front of you, that's okay. The path is there. It's been laid for you. All you have to do is walk it. All you have to do is take that next step forward, that next action, that next thing. You don't have to know every single step to the end, because the truth is you're never going to figure it out. You're never going to know. Spirit has things planned for you, opportunities that will come to you, changes that will happen that you could never predict. We talked a bit about in the last episode how we are always moving forward. There's no going backwards. If you remember that concept from last week, I talked about how even when we fail, we're moving forward. Even when things go wrong, we're moving forward. We're never starting back at zero. We never lose the experience that we have. We never lose the knowledge that we gain. We're always moving forward and we're never moving backward. And that is still true with this path that we follow. We're at the beginning now and we'll never be at the very beginning again because we're always building knowledge. We're always building experience. We're always moving forward, even when it feels like we're not. There's only forward, and Spirit's really bringing that in now. That regardless of what we do, we're still moving forward. We're still progressing. We're still on the path. I don't even know if it's possible to get off the path. Whatever we do is what is meant to happen, is an experience that we're meant to have, a lesson we're meant to learn. It's all here for us, for the growth of our soul and for our journey through this lifetime. This is the journey that we chose when we came here as our little soul coming into this earth. This is the journey that we chose. These are the lessons that we decided we need to learn. And the path is laid out for us. And it's not just random, the things that happen to us, one moment to the next, the desire that we have to do something that we can't really explain. It's not just random. It's always leading us forward. It's always leading us to the next thing that we need, the next lesson we're meant to learn, the next huge up level, the next moment of growth, the next opportunity. It's always leading us forward. And right now, the energy is only forward. It's all in front of us. So much. It's all in front of us. Potential, possibility, opportunity. It's all in front of you and it's all on the path that has been laid out for you. Doesn't it feel incredible to choose to believe that? To choose to believe that you are supported no matter what. That is something you can choose to believe. It feels really good to believe that. It feels really good to be supported. It feels really good to decide I am safe to move forward because I'm supported. The path has been created for me. As we move forward, I talk about trusting that you're on the path, about following your next nudge and your next hint and your next desire. This is a skill that you learn as you connect more deeply to your intuition. Spirit's asking us to connect in with ourselves, in with our soul, and learn how to listen to our intuition, learn how to hear the messages from the universe. There are a few recent episodes that really teach you how to do this. If you go back to an episode just maybe less than a month ago called Activate Your Intuition, this is practices that teach you how to connect more deeply with your intuition and develop that inner relationship with your soul, with yourself, with spirit. If you scroll all the way back, there is an episode about how to hear messages and receive signs from the universe. I think the title is How to Receive Signs from the Universe. In that episode, I talk about how to recognize when you are receiving signs from spirit. If you are receiving something in repetition, that's probably a sign. Spirit wants you to pay attention to that. If you're receiving sudden inspiration, if you have an urge to do something, but you're like, why do I want to do this? Like maybe you have an urge to suddenly do something creative, like start painting or plant a garden. And you're like, why? What's the point? The point is you're being guided to it. You have to learn to trust your desires, to trust what your heart is telling you, your soul, your intuition, your imagination, your creativity. It's all connected and it's all connected to that flowing part of you, that part of you that exists in flow and trust, that is so deeply connected to spirit. And it's deeply connected to that feeling that you can access of being supported, of receiving, and knowing that you will be taken care of. Spirit's asking us to lean into that. And one of the reasons that we should really work on developing that trust and that ability to listen to our own intuition is because this path we're headed forward on, it is not always going to be easy. It's just not. At the beginning, I kind of talked about the duality of ending something and starting something new at the same time. There's emotions that feel like they're competing. There's the grief of losing what you had and the excitement of starting something new. Well, this duality is going to exist in everything. As we move forward on this path, there's going to be moments where we're in the dark, where we're confused, where we lose hope a bit, where we mess up, where it is just hard and we're challenged and we try something and it's not quite right and we have to try again. Or maybe we get in an argument or whatever it is, there's going to be challenge. And on the flip side of that, there's going to be hope and opportunity and success and that feeling of achievement and inspiration, motivation. There's going to be both sides of it. That duality will always exist on your path. And sometimes you're going to feel both of those things at the same time. When you are in those high moments, it's so easy to trust that this path is laid out for you and you are being led and you are being guided and everything's always going to work out. And it's easy to be in that sunshine. But when you're in those heavier moments where you're questioning, why am I even doing this? Will I ever be successful? I'm not going to reach this goal. This is really freaking hard. I can't see what my next step is. I'm confused. I want clarity. When you're in those moments, that's when you're being challenged to stay on this path, to trust that this path is there, to lean back into your intuition, into your inner knowing. And if you have practiced connecting with that inner knowing when things are good, it's going to be a lot easier to connect in with it when things are hard. Whatever you do, whether you practice connecting with that inner knowing and with your intuition or not, whether you have the whether you've developed that skill or not, you're still going to experience the hard and the good. You're still going to have both experiences, but Spirit is reminding us we can prepare ourselves for this. We know this is coming. We know that there's going to be rough patches and there's going to be challenge and struggle, and that's part of our experience of learning and growing and developing. And we can prepare for it. We can start learning now how to connect in with that intuition with ourselves, how to recognize our emotions, how to create that feeling of love, support, and acceptance within us, like we talked about last week. That feeling of bravery and confidence, that feeling of self-respect, of self-worth, of trusting ourselves, of creating an environment internally of love and support and acceptance so that we feel brave enough and confident enough and safe enough to continue moving forward when our path is foggy, when there's giant rocks in the path, when we tripped over a log, when we fell in the mud. We can get up again and we can continue moving forward with confidence, knowing that we're supported by the universe and we're supported by ourselves. We have the whole big stinking path in front of us. And it is so exciting. It is so exciting. And there's so much forward momentum right now. The way we're going to move through this path in the most expansive way, the way with the most growth, is through connecting inwardly to our intuition and connecting up to spirit. It's both things. It's both connecting inward and connecting outward. And it's recognizing that we're walking this human path. We're going to have challenges, and that's okay. We're equipped to overcome them. But hiding from them, pretending like everything's going to be easy breezy, that's not going to be the best way to move forward? Well, if you've listened to the podcast before this episode, you know I love to be high in the sky. I am a very positive person. My outlook on life is very high, very positive, very sunny. And Spirit's reminding me that's amazing, but don't pretend the hard shit isn't there. Because if you pretend it's not going to happen, if you pretend you're never going to be challenged, you're going to be caught off guard and you're not going to be ready to surmount those challenges. As you continue developing this incredible relationship with your soul, with yourself, with spirit, this is what's going to carry you forward in those moments when things are a little hard, when things are difficult, when you meet that challenge. And this is what is going to help you continue going forward on the path. This message today really is bringing to the forefront not only the duality that we'll experience on the path of both the light and the dark, but also the fact that we're both human in spirit. We're both human here having this experience in the physical world, and we're spirit, we're soul, we're source. We have God within us. We're both of these things. And we get to experience our life as both of these things. And it's an incredible gift. And we're learning how to combine our human experience and this deep soul knowing that we have, that we're supported on an energetic level, that we have infinite possibilities on this energetic level. And this path we're headed down is an invitation for us to bring that feeling and that knowing of infinite possibility into our physical reality, into our human. This path we're following, this new beginning, it's going to have so many incredible opportunities for us to see that connection between spirit and human, to see that connection manifest physically in our lives. My friend, just trust. This path has been laid for you. There's no going backwards. There's only going forward. And you are infinitely supported. You have everything you need within you in that deep connection with your soul and in that deep connection with spirit. I love you so much. I am wishing you so much love, joy, strength, happiness on this new journey you're embarking on this path. And I cannot wait to chat with you again soon. Love you so much. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Suddenly Spiritual podcast. I'm so grateful that I get to be part of your journey of spiritual expansion. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave a review for me on Apple Podcasts. It's a quick, free, easy way for you to support this podcast, and it helps me reach more people who are looking for support on their spiritual journey. You can find a link to leave a review in the show notes. Thank you so much, and I'll chat with you soon.